My name is Eric Reed, and I'm a musician. And I was born and raised in Philadelphia, and I'm a touring musician, and I also teach at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville.
Do you remember what your earliest memories of music was?
My earliest memories of music include walking into a storefront holiness church in Philadelphia. The name of the church is True Holiness Temple. They've since expanded a bit, and there was a guy playing the piano. His name was Andrew Easley. He was the husband of the pastor of the church, Willie Bell Easley, and they were from somewhere down in West Virginia. And I used to see him sitting at the piano playing sort of, I knew it wasn't like gospel, but gospel with some ragtime. It was very different sound. That's the way he played, because this guy was older. But one of the things that stuck out for me was his pinky. He had lost his pinky. He worked in the coal mines in Pittsburgh, and so he lost his pinky in a coal mining accident. So when he would play, I always noticed that, and it freaked me out. I'm a kid. I'm 4 or 5 years old. So it freaked me out a little bit, but I always remembered that sound. I never, ever forgot that sound. And then years later, when I heard Jelly Roll Morton, I said, wow, maybe this guy studied with Jelly Roll Morton. I don't know. But that was one of my first musical experiences. Another early musical experience was hearing my father singing with gospel quartets. He sang with a group called the Bay State Singers, and they were based in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and I think Delaware, the Bay States of East Coast. So those are my earliest experiences, musical experiences.
All right, and do you remember, was there a particular event, or do you remember at what point you decided, I'm gonna do this for a career?
I don't know if I ever made that decision officially to be a musician. It's something that's always been there, and it was logical. It made sense because I had all of this talent at a young age, and why wouldn't I? It wasn't like I couldn't have done anything else. I mean, I wasn't an A student or anything like that. I definitely wasn't athletically inclined, but I thought about being an attorney. I even thought about being a cop. I thought about going into track and field. I was very fast, I was quick. I even wanted to play baseball. But music was kind of the thing that it just made the most sense. I didn't really have that same kind of passion and energy for other vocations.
So at the beginning of you starting your musical journey, who back then would you say were your main influences?
At the beginning of my musical journey, my biggest influences were my father. And there were two ladies that played in this same church, True Holiness Temple. I talked about Andrew Easley and his wife, Willie Bell Easley. She was Willie Bell Burdett, was her maiden name. So her sister, Sadie Burdett, her baby sister, Sadie Burdett, played piano in the church as well. And her youngest daughter, Shirley Easley, by Andrew, also played piano in the church. And Sadie played closer to the way Andrew played. But Shirley was a bit more contemporary. So at that time, one of the popular gospel songs was a song by Myrna Summers from D.C. God gave me a song. So at that time, gospel music was taking on more of a secular type of bent, or more, it sounded more like 70s rock music, And so that's where Shirley was coming from. But also some tradition. They all had the tradition there, but then there were different little branches, little sprouts. So my biggest heroes were right there locally in Philadelphia. Right there locally in Philadelphia were my biggest influences.